Good evening, good evening, good evening, my brothers and sisters. How are you doing this beautiful evening? Come on in. It's that time to get your good food for this evening. When I say food, I'm talking about some good food for the soul. And when I say good food for the soul, I'm talking about we're going to nibble on relationships type of food, okay? My brothers and sisters, I'm looking forward to talking to you this evening and serving you up real good. If this is your first time at the dinner table, allow me to introduce myself. My name is Tony M. Tuma, and I talk about relationships. I talk about relationships basically from a spiritual point of view. And when I say a spiritual point of view, I strongly believe when you look in the book of Genesis that God had a unique relationship with the man Adam. Secondly, he had a unique relationship with the woman Eve. Thirdly, God represented the woman to the man after taking a rib out. And that's the type of relationship I'm talking about. Now, if you think about another type of relationship, you have what is called a free will. You could do whatever you choose to do. But if you sit at the dinner table and clearly letting you know that I support the position or the book of Genesis where God brought a woman to the man, and that man being Adam and the woman being Eve, that's the position I come from. And I strongly believe that's the pattern that God set up for a relationship. But like I said, if you have another way of doing a relationship, you can do whatever you choose to do because God gave you a free will. However, you know, if you at the dinner table, the relationship that I talk about is a relationship between a man, a woman, and God. Okay. So I still encourage you to stay here. Even if you disagree with me, I still encourage you to do that. By the way, I'm on two different platforms. I'm on the book and I'm on the tube. Those of you that are on the book, I may say something to those that are on the tube. You may not see their names and comment, and vice versa. Those of you that are on the tube, I may say something to those that are on the book. You may not see their names and comments, but we're all brothers and sisters here, and we're going to be cordial because we may have some guests that might be popping in. This might be their first time at the dinner table. And speaking of dinner table, when we look at the menu for tonight, what's on the dish tonight? We're going to talk about should you date someone from a dating site? This is what we're going to talk about tonight. Should you date someone from a dating site? I know there are some pluses and minuses when it comes to a relationship with someone on a dating site, and we're going to talk about that a little at the dinner table. And my brother and sister, I want you to feel free to make your comments and ask questions at the dinner table as we discuss this at dinner table. And just be open and don't think that whatever you have to say doesn't make no sense. We're all here to learn, okay? With that said, the world of dating, my brothers and sisters, is wide open these days. From meeting someone in person to meeting someone on a dating site. So, is there a big difference of meeting someone live versus someone that's on a dating site? Let's go to get a little dibble, a nibble dibble of. Let me see. How should we have our main course first, or should we have the appetizer? We're gonna have the appetizer, and the appetizer, my brother and sister, as it is written in not Ephesians, but Ecclesiastes 4, that chapter 4, 9 through 12. Ecclesiastes 4, 9 through 12. Ecclesiastes 4, 9 through 12. Now, Solomon wrote this. He was inspired to write this, and there's a reason why he was inspired to write this. How you doing, Sister Wanda Lee? Welcome to the dinner table. Now, it is written, two are better than one because they have a good reward for their labor. For if they fall, the one will lift up his fellow, but woe to him uh, that is alone when he fall, for he has not another to help him up. Again, two are lying together, then they will have heat. But how can one be warm alone? And if one prevails against him, two shall withstand him, and a threefold cord is not quickly broken. Now, my brothers and sisters, according to the book of Ecclesiastes, Solomon wrote that two are better than one. Just think about it, brother and sister. two are better than one. When God created the man and God created the woman, he did it for a purpose. And his overall purpose was he created man and woman to be a reflection of him. But God also said that it's not good for man to be alone. So when God said that it's not good for man to be alone, he created what is called a woman. And when he created he created the woman to be a helpmeet or a helpmate to the man. And the Bible clearly say, and it is written, that the man was not created for the woman, but the woman was created for the man. So God, in his infinite wisdom, he had in mind for a man and a woman to be together. When God brought a human to a man, the human was a female. He did not bring a male, he brought a female. So there's a reason why God brought a female to a man. And the reason why he did that is to reproduce, and not only to reproduce, but to have dominion over God's creation, which is on earth. So to reproduce and to have dominion. And the man needed a woman to do both of these things. That's why God created the woman for the man. Now, we're talking about, should you date someone from a dating site? Now, some people will say yes, and some people will say no. Are there some pros to dating someone online, or are there some cons to not dating someone online? And we're going to talk about that. After we talk about that, we're going to talk about the bottom line. Now, when it comes to a relationship, my brothers and sisters, there are several ways that men and women go about getting into a relationship with one another. There are several ways. So, is it bad to get in a relationship with someone online? That could be yes, and it could be no. Is it bad meeting someone out in public? That could be yes, that could be no. Now, let me tell you this, my brother and sister. The con part probably dating someone online is how some people would say that person one of the main things is, why are you dating someone online? And the negative part where some people come up and say why you dating someone online is that you must be desperate. You find it hard to find someone where you live at. It's all kinds of reasons why people would throw out negative things about dating someone on site, especially if the person is not in the same geographical area as you are. But then there are some pluses too, since how our world is today, it gives you a choice. I mean, it gives you an opportunity to meet someone not only where you're at. Now, my brothers and sisters, when you decide, or if you decide to date someone online, if you date someone online, look, my brother and sister, you got to understand this. You are creating what is called a profile. And when you create a profile, if you decide to do it, you need to be single. If you're going to do anything, you need to be single when you are on a dating site. Now, I know they got different dating sites, but the purest of form, my brother and sister, you should be single. And not only should you be single in status, you should not be in a relationship with anyone else prior to going online. If you are in a relationship with someone, trying to build up a relationship, if you say that you're serious, and if you say that you committed to someone and you moving towards the covenant relationship, the question is, why are you online? Now, there are some men and women that are online They're not married. So they get online. But let me tell you this, my brother and sister, if you are not married, and this for those of you that's listening to me, if you're in a relationship with someone, the question is, if you call yourself in a relationship with someone, do you really know what you're doing? Because if you're trying to build up a relationship with someone, why are you online anyway? There are a lot of men and women that are online and they call themselves in a relationship with someone. But let me tell you this, my brother and sister, technically speaking, if it's a single man and if it's a single woman, to be technical, you're not obligated to one another. Why am I saying that? Brother, if you're single, and sister, if you're single, if you're not in a serious and committed relationship moving towards getting married, that's the key thing. If you're not in a serious and committed relationship moving towards getting married, you got to understand this, my brother and sister. The person that you're dating and you yourself, you are what is called a free agent. You're not married to that man. You're not married to that woman. But there are some people that call themselves in a serious committed relationship, but they are not even engaged. So, my brother and sister, I know it might be hard to hear. If you are seeing someone and you're not deceiving the person, you should let that person know, like, we might say we are in a serious committed relationship, but we're not engaged moving towards getting married. So that's the key thing, my brother and sister. Before you get online, you need to really be clear with that man and woman what you are doing. Don't go behind that man and don't go behind that woman and create a profile of yourself. And this person is somewhat thinking that you and him, or you and her are in a relationship. That's a form of deception. You understand? That's a form of deception. So, my single brother and sister, don't get online if you are if you're building a relationship with someone else. You understand? Don't do it because you are really deceiving that man and woman. Why would you get online and the other person possibly is not online? Why would you do that? And I talk to you single brothers and sisters, okay? Why would you want to do that? I'm going to say this again. The only reason that you should get online, how you doing, Sister Flo? Welcome to the dinner table. If you choose to get online, you need to be single. How you doing, Sister Cynthia Palm? You need to be single. If you going through a divorce, don't get online. You still are married. If you and then there are some people that get online and they will put on their profile what that little phrase now, a situationship or something like that. It's some kind, but what it's actually saying is this: that man and woman is entertaining someone else, but they're open to another relationship. So, especially you married men and women, you ain't got no reason getting on no dating site. No reason whatsoever. The dating site in general, my brother and sister, the reason why it was created at the beginning is basically for a single man and a single woman. Now we got dating site for different flavors, okay? But we going to concentrate on a dating site between a man and a woman. Now, if you decide to get on a dating site, my brother and sister, keep in mind it's wide open. When you get online and it's wide open, you're going to run into a lot of different personalities. You really are. It's like a smorgasbord. You're going to run into a lot of personalities. When you run into these different personalities, you need to be clear on your profile. You need to be clear who you are. Be very clear who you are if you decide to put yourself out there on a dating site. Because you see, when people put themselves on a dating site, some of them are really truly trying to seek a relationship. And then there are some that truly trying to use someone. So you got a handful that are actually serious about a relationship, and then you have a majority of them they looking to use someone. That's what majority of people doing. They looking to use someone. Now the question is, why should I? Am I crazy for going on a dating site? There was some people. Some people they ashamed to let other people know that they're on a dating site. So because they feel that somebody might say, "Are you desperate? Are you what's going on? Why you got to get on the dating site and you have all these people in your community that you could be seeing?" Now, let me tell you this, my brother and sister. If you are single and you have a desire to be in a relationship, brother, with a woman, or sister, you desire to be in a relationship with a man, there's a possibility that you may meet your future husband or your future wife. It's just like if you leave your house and you go to the supermarket or you go wherever, you probably might meet your future husband or your future wife. Now, some people will say if you get online to meet someone, you may run into someone that's crazy. How you doing, Sister Susanna? Welcome to the demo tape. That's what they say. If you get online, you don't know what you're gonna get because you could be running into somebody real crazy. But let me tell you this, my brother and sister, you can go to your local supermarket in real time and meet a crazy person. You don't have to get online to meet a crazy person. You can meet a crazy person right in your community. So there are some pros and cons in meeting someone online. Now, the pro part is you are opening yourself up to a variety of people. That's what you're doing. But you don't want to just put yourself out there with a variety of people. You don't want to do that. A dating site is not just for you having gone from one relationship to another relationship. The purpose of the dating site is for you to quote unquote meet your match. Can you find your match on a dating site? It's a possibility, my brother and sister, that you can meet your future husband or wife on a dating site. There are some men and women, believe it or not, that have went on dating sites and they have met their future husband and wife. And then there are some people that have went on dating site and they got a horror story to tell you. So, my brother and sister, if you decide to get on a dating site and you start conversing with a man or a woman, you need to, it's an interview process. It's just like if you meet someone in person, it's a interview process. Sister Wanda Lisa, I met someone online. I felt like I found my match. That okay, that's a strong possibility, Wanda Lisa. Thank you for sharing your testimony. It's possible because there are some people that have actually met their husband and wife online. Now, if you decide to get online, my brother and sister, let's say majority of a lot of the time, people are in different parts. If you're in the United States, they may be in different parts of the United States, or they could be overseas. You see, when you get online to communicate with someone, my brother and sister, you should be straight up with that man or woman. You should be straight up. Let that man and woman know your intent. If you're going to get online, don't just chat with those men and women. That's not it. What you need to do, if you're going to get online, you could do just like I'm doing now. You could see me in real time. You need to be able to converse with that person in real time if you choose that. Just like if you go in public, and somebody walk up on you, that's real. That's real time. But if you decide to do the online stuff, that's up to you. But I'm going to tell you some biblical principle about doing it. But I'm just having a conversation with you right now, okay? So keep that in mind. You should be able to talk to that man and woman. So while you're talking, the plus part about that is like, if it seems like it's not going okay, you can just not deal with that person no more. That's the easy way, instead of you start seeing someone in real time in your hometown. That may be a little something else, because if you seeing someone in real time in your community, that person can possibly start getting emotional attachment to you. Now, a person online can start getting emotional attached to you too. How you doing, Sister Tierra Mo? Welcome to the dinner table. I don't know what I meant saying anything to you, Sister Susanna, but welcome to the dinner table. Sister Flo, welcome to the dinner table. Sister Cynthia Palm and Sister Wanda Lee, welcome to the dinner table. But my brother and sister, when you are online and you're planning on talking to someone, go ahead and be straight up with that person. Be truthful with that person. Let that person know why you are online. Let that person know your intent. Sister Wanda Lee said, I met him by accident. He was a streamer. Okay. All right. So my brother and sister, when you get online and you meet someone, the thing about it is you need to meet face to face. You need to meet face to face. If you decide to meet someone face to face, my brother and sister, online, it's not supposed to be for a quick hookup, because a lot of times you may conversate with someone. A lot of times they may not be in your area; they may be in another part of the country. So if you decide to conversate with someone, it's very, very important that you meet. It's very, very. You're not meeting to hook up, and when I say hook up, you're not meeting just to be physically intimate with that person. But let's be realistic. A lot of time when people meet online, especially if somebody flying in from another part of the country, whatever, more than likely that person is going to stay in the house or apartment or condo or cave where the person is at, instead of being placed in a hotel. And when that person from out of town, let's say if a person from out of town come to stay with you, my recommendation, my brother and sister, is if possible, you should have, how should I say this? If that person come from your safety, let me tell you, if that person come for safety, it's better if that person stay in a hotel. I mean, a hotel or a motel. It's better that way. However, I know most of the time that person that coming in town, they're gonna come to where you live at. When that person comes to where you live at, and you bring that person into your home, you're not bringing that person in your home for a hookup. You bring that person in your home and you hook up, you could get a soul tie there. What do I mean by a soul tie? When you have physical intimate with someone, you become soul tied to them. Just like if you meet someone in your hometown and you're not married to them and you get physical with them, you're going to develop a soul tie. The person that you coming in, you don't know whether or not you're going to see him or her again. So if that person coming in to your city, or you going to his or her city, and you get physically intimate with them, and then you leave them, whoever leave, you done took a part of that person, and that person have taken a part of you. So you got to realize that you that's realistic. That's what's going to happen, my brother and sister. You're going to get soul tied. And just imagine if you mean a whole bunch of people. You meet a whole bunch of people. You going to where they stay at, or vice versa, and you get physically intimate. So you develop all these type of soul ties, and you don't want to put yourself in that situation. But let me tell you, my brother and sister, if you decide to get on a dating site and it appears that you have met the right one, you need to, if you have met what you think the right person, and you have in your mind, and that person having in mind that you are taking into account, we're going to get into a serious, committed, and move towards a covenant relationship. That's the best way to go. If you're not intending on getting a serious, committed, and covenant relationship, you not don't need to be doing all that kind of stuff, because you messing yourself up psychologically, emotionally, physically, financially, all that kind of stuff. You don't want to put yourself in that situation, my brother and sister. So you got to understand, more than likely, when you bring that person to your home, majority of the time, you're going to get physically intimate with that person. Not saying it's going to happen, but majority of the time, you're going to get physically intimate with that person, because you think that you're an adult, right? How you doing, sister? Naya, I hope I pronounced your name right. Naya B, Niya. Welcome to the dinner table. So if you do decide to get on the dating site, and you and this person decide to meet, you only meet that person if you have been talking to that person like I'm talking to you right now in real time. Don't just talk on the phone. You want to see that person, because there's a lot of people that they're not who they really are. They misrepresent themselves. They got a picture of someone else. That's what they call catfishing. You don't want to have no catfish situation. You want to talk to that person in real time, get to know a little about that person, then you decide to meet. When you meet, and like I'm telling you, my recommendation is hopefully that person stay in a hotel or motel, or if you go somewhere, a hotel and a motel. If you decide to stay with that person, it's going to be hard, because if you start really liking that person and your human nature start kicking in, more than likely you're going to get physical. So my recommendation is, don't do it, because you're going to mess with your mind, probably your emotions, your body. Probably you don't know what's going on, or financially you don't know what's going to happen. And if you do decide to date someone online, both of you all need to come offline. If you're trying to get to know someone, my brother and sister, why are you still online? How you doing, Cora? Hey, how you doing? Welcome to the dinner table. Sister Paul said, I tried that, didn't like it at all. All he wanted to do was sleep with me. And he said he was a man of God. And I said that God wouldn't send me a man to sleep with me. And I told him not a chance. Those kind of things happen. And let me tell you this. Thank you, Sister Paul, for bringing it up. Most of the time, not all the time, but most of the time, a lot of men, they're looking to sleep with various women and try to extort money from them. A lot of time, women are looking for men to send them money and probably sleep with them. So it's a reversal. Most men looking to sleep with women, and if they could get anything out of it, it's okay. But most women, they're looking to get an ATM machine going on, then maybe sleep. But some people say, well, that happened in real life. It happened in real life too. You could go in your community and meet someone. There are some men just like that, just looking for a woman to sleep with. And there are some women that just looking for a man to get their hair done and pay their bill. So it could be vice versa. It could be vice versa. So you have to be very careful, my brother and sister. You have to be very careful. You don't know, even if you meet someone offsite in your local community, that person could have a problem, just like the person that you meet online could have a problem. So I'm gonna put this out there, my brother and sister. You can't say whether you're gonna meet somebody crazy online or you're gonna meet someone crazy offline. You can't say that. So for those people that say people that get online, they crazy and they desperate. No, they're not crazy and desperate. They're not crazy. Some of them are, but a lot of time they're not. It's just like you could be crazy and desperate when you meet someone in your local community. So it just depends. It just depends. Dating site is a form of meeting someone, and that's what it is. Now, one of the cons in meeting someone online, let's say that you have an attachment to that person, and you all decide we going to make this thing work. If you decide the person that you meet, y'all going to get into a serious and covenant relationship, that serious and covenant relationship need to be moving towards you getting married. Now, the thing about it is this: time together. If someone stay in another state, that's going to be a hard situation. It's going to be hard because you may not see that person that often. So my brother and sister, my question to you is, if you meet someone that's in another city and you serious about that man and woman that's in another city, your intention, like if you, even if the person in your community, your intention is supposed to be, we are serious, we're committed, and we're moving towards a covenant relationship. That should be your mindset. Serious, committed, and moving towards a covenant relationship. Not just to see someone every now and then flying in and flying back. Time is very important, my brother and sister, because it tick, 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 tick. Now, the thing about it, if you meet someone online and you decide to marry that person, the question is, who's going to relocate? Now, when it comes to who's going to relocate, this is a very sticky point. My recommendation is this. First of all, you got to ask yourself, just like you meet somebody in real time in your hometown, does this man or does this woman have a relationship with God? It's possible that God got your husband and wife online. It's possible, because God can bring people together in real time, or he could bring someone together online. It happens. It happens. So still, brother and sister, if you meet someone online, you got to do it just like you meet somebody in your community. You need to understand, does that man or does that woman have a relationship with Jesus first? That's the number one criteria. Do you or do you not have a relationship with God's son Jesus? And Sister Flo said, amen, won't he do it? That's right. God could bring men and women together online. Let me tell you that God could bring some people together. They ain't even got to be on no dating site. They don't even have to be on no dating site. They could be on Facebook or whatever, and they meet. They become friends. They might not even have no intentions of dating one another. Some people on Facebook, they could hook up. You know what I mean? They friends, and then they start talking, and then you don't know whether or not through the vehicle of Facebook, God could bring people together on Facebook. But you see, Facebook is a little different than dating site. But from my understanding, Facebook got the little dating thing now. But before Facebook came up with the little dating thing, some people, they do hook up through Facebook. And when I say hook up, some men, they have impure motives, and some women have impure motives. And a lot of that stuff go down in the DM. A lot of stuff go down in the DM. But then there's some people on Facebook that actually meet and they get married. They actually meet and get married. But going back to the dating sites, what does dating site mean? It means dating site, but you have to be serious. And going back to my brother, sister, that man or woman that you met online, when you start talking to that man or woman, it's just like you with that person real time. Do you believe in God's son Jesus? And you have to talk about that thing. And just like you meet that person in real time, you have to talk to God and say, should I go this route or should I not? Now, when you all meet, Guess what, my brother and sister? If you meet someone online, guess what? That man and woman, they still not perfect. Like you not perfect. Like you meet somebody in real time in your home, in your community. These people come with flaws too. And the more time you be around that person, because when you meet someone that's coming into your city, how you doing, Sister Marie? Sister Marie said, okay, so Sister Marie, she met her husband in real time at Walmart. So when Sister Marie, correct me if I'm wrong. When you went to Walmart, were you looking for a husband or it happened? You were going to Walmart to pick up something and you happened to see him. Were you going to Walmart looking for a man, Sister Marie, or you were going to Walmart to get something and it happened at Walmart? Let us know about that, because things like that happen. Like what Sister Marie said, you can meet your mate anywhere. You can. So if that person is a man of God or Christ, then you start talking. Sister Marie said it just happened. No, went for a computer. You see, this is what I'm talking about. You see, when Sister Marie went to Walmart, she was looking for a computer. She was not looking for a man. And I'm glad Sister Marie said that. She said, I just happened and no, I went to get a computer. Now, let me tell you this. This is similar to Ruth. What do I mean by similar to Ruth? When Ruth met Boaz, Ruth was going to work. She was a gleaner. Ruth was not going looking for a man. Like Sister Marie, she was not going looking for a man. She was going looking for a computer. Ruth was going to look for work. It happened. How did it happen? God orchestrated it. Ruth didn't know she was going to meet Boaz. Sister Marie didn't know she was going to meet her husband there. God orchestrate things, my brother and sister. You don't know how God going to orchestrate it. So if someone meets someone online, you don't know how God going to orchestrate it. It's called technology. And it opens you up. It's a possibility God got someone in another part of the country or another side of the world for you, brother and sister. You can't tie God's hand up. But you see, the thing about it, once you meet that person, you need to decide what we're going to do. And when you meet that person, you come offline. If you say you want to develop a relationship with that man and woman, you need to come offline. Why are you still online communicating with other people? No, you're supposed to come offline. That means, brother, you come offline, and sister, you come offline, so you can get to know one another. And time, you need to try to see that person as much as possible. When you decide to get married, I'm going to say when you decide to get married, it's going to come down to who moving where. This is very, very critical. Who moving where? Brother and sister, what I would say is this. You pray to God. Pray to God who going to move where. It needs to benefit both parties. If it was a local thing between men and women, if it was a local thing, if that woman already have her house and that man already have his house, that woman should come live with you, or y'all get something together. And that house where she at, you can use that as rental property and make some money off of it. You should. That's the best scenario. Now, you guys locally, if you meet a woman locally, you go live with her. I don't strongly agree with that. Now, it could work for some people, but this is why I say I don't strongly agree with that. Because, sister, don't get on me. A lot of time, some women, not you, sister, not none of you all. A lot of time, when the man go live with the woman could say, "This is ours," and everything hunky-dory. But if she gets something for the house or she do something, called, you got to remember, she was doing things before the man came in. And brother, you don't move in with this woman just to test it out. You, if you decide to move in, you need to be married. But it's something that possibly gonna happen. Even when you marry this woman and move into her house, a lot of time, not all the time, if you tee her off, you may hear these words: "Get out of my house." Now, to benefit you, sister, some men may say, "Get out of my house." But brother, you sure have it where she come live with you, married, you marry her, or y'all get something neutral together. And that house where she got, hey, y'all can make money out there that rental property. Now, going back to someone state live out of town, it's similar, brother. You and that woman, you get married. You got to decide what's best for both of you all, and the best way you could do it, you have to pray to God on that. Should I move there, or should this person move here? And the same thing, my brother. If you move into where she live, if you move out of town to where she at, if you marry her, I still recommend that if you move to where she at, you still need to get something other than where she live at. That's my recommendation. That's my strong recommendation. Sister, if you move in a city where this man at, he might say kick you out, but hopefully he doesn't. So that's a sticky situation. So the sticky situation is you should pray to God who should make the move and it's supposed to benefit both parties, not just one party, okay? So when you're dating someone, you date with the intent of coming offline, because when you come offline, you're not exposing yourself to other people. So that means you close down your site, close down your dating site. I have heard of some people on the dating site where they think that they're in a relationship with someone. They both agree to get offline. One of them get offline, but the other one still staying online. But they made an agreement to get offline. So if you online and both of you decide to get offline, and one still lingering online, that's a problem. Why make an agreement with someone to come offline and that other person is still online? That means that that's a red flag. You don't want to go into that situation. You don't want to go. Now, another thing about meeting someone online is you really don't know that person. He or she doesn't know you. That's just the same way if you was in your local community. You don't know that person. That's why you have to spend time with someone. And brother and sister, my thing is there are some people that online that are call themselves working toward getting married, and they got a better relationship than some people that living in the same community. There are some people that live in the same community, the same city, and they don't see each other that much. Whereas there are some people that live East Coast, West Coast, and they see one another monthly, several times a month, than some people that stay locally. Can you believe that, my brother and sister? Now, you would think if a man and woman locally, and they're supposed to be serious, committed, moving towards a covenant relationship, they have the advantage of spending more time with one another. Why is it where some people online, they can see one another more than people that's local? That tells me that the people that are online, they're more serious about the relationship than some people that are local on a relationship. Sister Tierra Mo said, I met someone on social media and the person kept saying they were in love with me and we were meant to be together. I blocked that person so fast, he was crazy. Okay, Sister Tierra Mo, tell me this. You said you met someone on social media and the person kept saying that they were in love with me. Did y'all ever FaceTime or anything, Sister Moore? Did you all do in the FaceTime? Let me know that. Did you all do in the FaceTime, or he just said he was in love with you? You see, the thing about it, a lot of men and women, they throw out that word love. because the word love is a bait for most people. Men know that women are emotional, and men know that a lot of times women want to hear that word called love. So, Sister Tierra Mo, did you ever meet this person in real time? No, Sister Mo said, I no, I believe he was a scammer. Yes, some stuff like that happened. It could be scammers. It could be those people that be catfishing. That's why, my brother and sister, if you meet someone online, you need to do what you do, what I'm doing right now. You need to see that person in real time, because some people, they put other people pictures up there, and a lot of time, my brother and sister, you could ask the person, describe how you look, and that person could say, "Well, I look like a woman might say to a man, I look like I look like Halle Berry, and I'm shaped like Janet Jackson." You all remember that movie called Friday? You all remember that movie Friday, the first Friday? You remember Chris Tucker? And I think his character called Smokey or something like that. You remember this lady that he was talking to online, and the lady said, "I look like Janet Jackson." So when the lady was telling Chris Tucker on Friday, "I look like Janet Jackson," guess what was in his mind? He knew that the woman was not Janet Jackson, but she put an image in his mind that she looked like Janet Jackson. So in his mind, he was saying, "Okay, she probably looked close to Janet Jackson, but I know." So when he actually met the woman, she was far left from Janet Jackson. That's why I'm telling you, my brother and sister, when you start talking to someone online, make sure you get a clear visual of that person, not no pictures. You want to see that person in real time. You have the technology, so meet that person in real time. The con part is this. A lot of time, if that person stay out of time, um, that's trying on a relationship. It could be real hard and stressful on a relationship, because you want to be with that person a lot, and a lot of time that person can't be with you. And you can't do everything in a weekend. That's not showing you a real picture of that person just every other weekend. That's not you're gonna see the best of that person at that time. You want to be around that person where you could have a little time with that person, so you could see the pluses and the minuses. Because remember, there are pluses and minuses when it comes to online dating. Now, online dating, like everything else, my brother and sister, you have to include God in this. If you're going to go online, you need to go to God and you need to pray. Sister Tierra Mo said, "No, I never met him in real life, and he didn't want to do FaceTime. He saw my profile picture. Those were red flags for me. You don't start out saying you're in love with someone and you never met." Amen, sister. You did the appropriate thing. You did the appropriate thing. Yeah, I'm happy for you, Sister Mo. You did the appropriate thing. You dodged it because there were some red flags. But my brother and sister, let me tell you this. When you meet the person, you need to spend time with that person. That's the only way you're going to really learn someone. You got to spend time with that person, because you're going to get the best version of that person in a short period of time. And every now and then you may see a red flag, but you need some real time. That's why you have to include God, not only in a relationship with someone that you meet in your community. You need God when you talking to someone online. So is there anything wrong with dating someone online? I'm glad you asked. Yes and no. It's just like yes and no if you meet someone at your local convenience store. That's yes or no. It just depends on whether or not that man or woman have a relationship with God, Son, Jesus. So I'm telling you, dear my brother and sister, if you online, you're not crazy. You're not desperate. You just opening yourself up to possibilities. Am I endorsing dating site? That's up to you, my brother and sister, whatever you do. But whatever you do, include God in it, so God can establish things for you. Because you see, if you go online and meet someone, you want God to be able to guide your spirit and let you know that's a red flag. You see, if you're an honest man and an honest woman and you really desire to be in a relationship, the reason why some of you brothers and sisters online, you actually want to meet someone that's genuine. I'm talking to my Christian brother and Christian sister. You in your mind, you really want to meet someone that generous and honest, trustworthy, loyal, and all that kind of stuff. With all those pluses, there are going to be some minuses, my brother and sister. That's why it's best to spend time with that person. If you're going to get to learn that person, both of you need to get offline, because there's a possibility, brother, that God may have your wife on the West Coast. If you're on the East Coast, he may have your wife on the West Coast. Sister, there's a possibility you may live on the West Coast and the man that's supposed to be your husband, he live on the East Coast. We don't know how God do it, but we are in this technology age. And since we got this technology, that's all that is opening up the opportunity. Now, God could still bring a woman to a man on the dating site. He really can. Just like he could bring a woman to the man at a local convenience store or whatever, he could do it online. God could use everything. So Tiermo said, it's like a hands-on training. You have to get to know the person, and that can't be done just over technology. You have to be in their presence to feel the person out. That's right. You have to be in that person present. Also, Sister Moore said the person for you can live on another continent also. That's right. It's a possibility. They may be living in Japan or something. It's a possibility. You don't know where your husband and wife is. That's why I tell you, my brother and sister, always pray to God to handpick your mate. You don't know where your mate gonna be at. Case in point, Abraham's son Isaac, he was living in one part of the country, and his soon-to-be wife Rebecca lived where he came from. They didn't have no technology like we have now. Abraham, he sent his servant to the land of Ur where he came from. Abraham's son never met the lady. He never met Rebecca. Abraham's servant went back to Ur. He didn't know what woman to get for Abraham's son Isaac. Abraham's servant prayed to God because he needed God assistance. He needed God to handpick Isaac's son for his master Abraham. So it went a little something like this. The God of my master Abraham, I'm here, I'm paraphrasing it, I'm here to select a wife for my master's son, Isaac. I don't know who she is. I see a whole lot of women down there getting some water in the water pot, and I don't know which one. I don't know which one it is. A whole bunch of them, Lord. But Lord, help me out. Give me some type of sign. I tell you what, Lord, if you don't mind, Lord, the woman that come to me and she asked and she said, do you need some water? And can I give your camel some water? I would know that's the one. And guess what God did? God listened to that man's prayer. So Rebecca came up and asked Abraham's servant, do you want some water? He said, yes. Out of all the women that were there that were passing by him with those big water pots on their shoulder or their head, and then she said, well, can I give your camels some water? You see how quick God answered that? Abraham's servant didn't know nothing about Rebecca. God handpicked Rebecca for Isaac. So he went to Rebecca family, they talked about it. Rebecca agreed to come and meet Isaac. She never met Isaac before. Never. Isaac did not meet her. Back where Isaac was hurting because his mother Sarah had died. So in the meantime, Abraham's servant brought Rebekah from the land of Ur to Isaac. This is what Isaac did. Isaac seen her. He never seen her before. So she was up on the camel, and Abraham's servant was bringing her. So when Isaac seen her, and she seen him, this is a classic, my brother and sister, love at first sight. Now, some people say, can you love someone at first sight? Yes, you can. Can you commit to a relationship at first sight? Yes, let me tell you this. You see that lady up there? That one right there. That's Tequessa. That's my wife. You all know what I call her, right? I call her Cinderella because the shoe fit. When I first met Cinderella, let me tell you this. When I first met her, when I first seen her, I told her, I said, I'm going to marry you. I didn't ask her to marry me. When I met her, it was something inside of me that let me know, and that was on the inside of me was the Spirit of God that would let me know that's your wife. Hello, Sister Tammy. So when I met my wife face to face, and I met her in Atlanta, and I'll tell you how I met her. When I met her, she came to one of my niece's baby shower. That's the first time I actually seen my wife face to face. When I seen her, we communicated, and I told her, I said, I'm going to marry you. And we bonded real quickly. We bonded. It was like we knew one another. And that was our first time seeing one another. So she said, we were sitting at the table together. And we were sitting at the table together. So she said, do you know where the restroom at in the place? I said, no. And she said, will you go with me to the restroom? So I got up and we found the restroom, the ladies' restroom. So she put her hand on the ladies' restroom door and she was pushing it to go in. I tapped on the shoulder. So when I tapped her on the shoulder, I kissed her. And she just was stunned. Now, I'm not no crazy, my brother and sister. Guess what? She responded back. So, hey, everything was going lovely, right? So after she left, came back from the restroom, we were sitting there and they were taking pictures and everything. So she said, you want to take a picture together? I said, yeah. So we had someone to take a picture. Before I met my wife, I normally did not take pictures with someone that I was not in a serious, committed, moving towards a covenant relationship with. Okay. I had to be in a serious, committed, moving towards a covenant relationship to take a picture. But at that particular time, I already knew she was going to be my wife. So, and that's the first time I seen her. So they were about to take the picture. So we was close together. Like I was leaning towards her, she was leaning toward me. And she said, why don't you put your arms around me? I said, you sure you want me to put my arms around you? She said, yeah, it was around her. We took a picture. And then when we took a picture, I said, you mind if I post this on? You mind if I post this? She said, no, go ahead and post it. Now, my brother and sister, let me tell you this. I normally did not take pictures to be posted with a woman. But when I posted that first initial picture of my wife to be with me, I was saying this, she is the one. That's what I was saying when I took that picture. When my wife and I took that picture, we got married within like 2 months. We got married within 2 months. And we've been together happy. Most of all happy. Do we have storms? Yes, we have storms. But my point is, it doesn't take that long when God is in it. Because prior to me, my wife, some of you have known this story before. I prayed to God to find me a wife to follow me. I was dating other women, and I asked God, I want a wife to follow me as I follow Christ. So when I met my wife, and I told her I was going to marry her, like when I told her I was going to marry her, like within 2 weeks after I told her that, she called me and she said, some of you have heard it before, you're going to have to hear it again. She said, Tony, I got something to say to you. I said, what? She said, what you doing? I said, I'm just chilling. She said, you know what? I said, what? She said, I want to follow you. So when she said, I want to follow you, I had prayed that prayer to God 5 years before I met her. I did not tell any other women that I was dating what I had prayed to God. But when she told me, I want to follow you, no woman have ever told me that they want to follow me. So by me asking God that, it took 5 years for God to bring this to pass, because I wanted God to answer like that, but it took 5 years for God to answer my prayer. But in Isaac's case, when he saw Rebecca, he fell in love with her at first sight. Rebecca fell in love with Isaac at first sight. What am I saying? God matched them up. He did not know Rebecca. She did not know him. Rebecca and Isaac, when she got down off the camel, her and Isaac went into his mother Sarah's tent, and they consummated their relationship. You see, at that particular time in that culture, if a man and a woman is physically intimate, they are deemed as married. So Isaac and Rebecca, on day one, they consummated their relationship, so they were husband and wife. So God, my brother, and God, my sister, he could bring people together however he want to do it. And let me tell you this, my brother and sister, a lot of times, God already have the man and woman in mind that he wants you to be in a relationship with. But a lot of us men and women, we may have a desire for a member of the opposite, so we get in God's way. We want to beat God, and we think that we could choose the right man or the right woman. And most of the time we don't. So my brother and sister, even if you're on a dating site, be patient and pray to God that God position you for the right person. Is that the avenue that you use? Because it's evident, brother, if you're online, that means that you have a desire for a woman. Sister, if you online, you have a desire for a man. So God could use the dating site. He could use all kinds of ways. I mean, Facebook. He could use meet someone at the filling station when the gas station, putting gas in your car. He could he could have you at Walmart, like he did Sister Marie. She met her husband at Walmart. He could do anything. God could have you meet someone walking on the track. He could have you to meet someone at the gym and all that kind of stuff. You don't know how God's gonna do it. Don't limit God. Let God put you together. So the main thing, my brother and sister, there are pros and cons on everything. But if you decide to use a dating site, still go to God and pray. The bottom line is this, my brother and sister, does that man or does that woman have a relationship with God's son, Jesus? If you have any question and comment, just put wait down there, ask your question or your comment. Other than that, my brother and sister, I would like for you to take one of these carrot plates, put it in your refrigerator, and warm it up. Share with other family members and friends. Just share it, okay? Because is there anything wrong with the dating site? Yes and no. It's just like you can meet somebody in real time in your local city. Yes and no. It just depends on whether or not that man or woman have a relationship with God's son Jesus. I love you, brothers. I love you, sisters. Remember this, believe this, say la vie, peace out. You all have a good night. Thank you for coming to the dinner table. Have a good night.